Alright, hey guys, I wanted to make a review of Fast 9 and I know it's really, really late, but I honestly could not get myself a hold of this film and finally managed to watch it somewhere legally, thank God, because there's really no way for me to go to the cinema to watch this and I believe we finally got some DVD releases as well, and yeah, it's nice to finally be able to watch this film. So, let me tell you, I absolutely regret, first of all, watching this film because it was just, it just blew my mind of how bad a film's writing can be. But honestly, uh, I actually had fun. Like, I know I regret watching it, but now that I think about it, even if I like never watched it, like I'd be fine if I didn't watch it, but having watched it, this was a fun film. Like it was honestly fun. It wasn't like I'm not like saying it just for the sake of making fun of it or anything. But this was a film that actually gave us a lot of how can you put it? Wait, let me just adjust this. I'm sorry. This screen is a little bit out of proportion. It's annoying me. My OCD is kicking in. All right, so the Fast Nine. All right, so this is a spoiler review for those of you who have not watched it. Yeah, spoiler alert. Here I go. So the film starts off like really living up to the meme, right? The meme of family is truly a theme in this film, but like it's not truly overdone like the memes say. The memes really show you like it's all about family. I'm about family, but I mean in the movie it's not really the case. Sure, Dom is a guy who's believes in family, supports his family, and all of that, but the element is not really forced into your face or anything like that. This film is more so a film that's done purely for fun. There's a lot of gags, there's a lot of crazy moments, there's a lot of illogical physics involved in the way the cars drive and all of that. But despite all of that, it's just a fun film. It really is a brain dead film. You don't really need to think, oh, what could the villain be up to? How will the heroes come up with an idea? What kind of strategy are they going to use? There's none of that, right? You can just take your brain, leave it at home when you watch this. In my case, I don't have a choice because I am at home. So my brain is stuck to my head, but it's just the way I found this film. It's really completely a brain dead film. You need zero to no intelligence to watch this. I think your dog could watch this and probably have fun because that's how ridiculously fun this film was. And it's something that if you never watched it, yeah, you're fine. You don't have to. But if you watch it, hey, you're still gonna have a bit of fun because let me tell you, a lot of the jokes in this film I felt were pretty decent. Some of it is just cringy, I know, but you'd get past the point eventually, like about half an hour into this film, where you realize that this film is not taking itself seriously in any way. It's just here to make fun of itself. And hey, I think that's the best way to enjoy films like these because, it's not often they make films like these. You see a lot of like big badass looking characters and you expect really badass fights. But the fights are really, like immersion breaking because of just how ridiculous some of the fights seem. Like all the characters, especially Dom and his brother John Cena. What does he play? I forgot the brother's name. But John Cena plays as Vin Diesel's long lost brother, who finally shows up in the ninth, what do you call this, installment of the Fast series and or saga. And he and Dom are both clearly superhuman in some way. They do a lot of feats that I thought only Black Widow could do in her film, and I already made fun of that. So in this film, it's pretty interesting. But then again, their strength levels are not completely broken. They're not completely out of this world. But they are, however, lucky to the point of like they're Jedi lucky, right? They're lucky like in the Star Wars series where the stormtroopers never hit the Jedi. That's how lucky they are. They're lucky like the main character in 2012. You know, they're just lucky in ways that you see like the speedrunners playing Mario and you wonder how the hell the guy never hits into anything. But yeah, it's a balance between immersion and also the fact that these characters are just untouchable because they have plot armor that's thicker than Batman's, and that's the way I saw this film. But on top of all of that, when I see the actual fight sequences that, for example, Vin Diesel does when he takes on this entire horde of military soldiers, he's able to hold off like 10, 12 guys, and it's really insane. Now, to some extent, it's believable because there are people like, just really strong wrestlers out there, people like Bane, people like the Mountain. There are fictional characters that are still believable in terms of their strength levels. And I feel that it's possible that Dom is just one of them. Dom is as strong as the Mountain. He's as strong as Bane. He's as strong as certain characters that we have already seen in the past that are capable of fighting 10 men. But in certain situations, like when your entire body is just piled on by 10 people, especially when they're wearing like sort of armors and stuff like that, it gets really ridiculous. And I feel that they should have at least given these characters some kind of way to actually show like they're wearing certain armor to protect themselves, when they're fighting. Like this guy, you see him wearing um, this kind of bulletproof vest when he's like fighting, but in the rest of the scenes they don't. This guy is literally in his like his singlet. He's like in his light like loose little t-shirt, and he could easily get shot. Like at least let him wear a bulletproof vest to make it look like more realistic. That Vin Diesel has to also be careful because he could be shot. At least it'll give you the feeling that he is still wary of the fact that he's human, but it doesn't look like it in this film. He's clearly superhuman, and so is John Cena. And man, John Cena is huge. Let me tell you that. I saw him like stand face to face with Vin Diesel in one scene, and John Cena is massive. And quite frankly, kudos to these guys who keep themselves in ridiculous shape at their age. They are really impressive, and they truly live up to, to their mantle of who they are. But then again, they really don't have any value looking that amazing in a film. If you're going to do things that are just too ridiculous, even for someone who is extremely well trained and well built, like if you build a guy like this, and you make him fight like Daredevil in the TV series, that kind of makes sense. But if you make him start fighting like Captain America and you tell me that he's just an ordinary guy but he can fight like a super soldier, it's just, it's overdone. And I feel that they need to tone that down to bring it back to a little more grounded reality, because this was not what Fast and Furious was in at least the first 3 or 4 films. And then it all just went crazy. And I get it, you want to go crazy, but don't go crazier, like have a limit to what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. But anyway, that's just my point of the whole physics and the whole aspect of these people being untouchable. But it gets worse, all right. So there's a lot of comedy coming out from these two. This guy, Ludacris, and also where's the other guy? Um, Tyrese, right? Yeah, so Tyrese and Ludacris, they carry most of the comedy in this film. And let me tell you that I like them together. They're great, they're fun. Some of the comedy may seem cringy, may seem a little bit overdone, but I still find them very likable people. They just have great charisma. And whatever scenes that they're in, whatever comedy that they put out, it's kind of sort of just fits the situation because of just how insane it is. And you see Tyrese most of the time just being us, trying to be us in the situation that he is in, trying to make seem like everything is insane, everything is nuts. But he has done all this before. He has done it again and again. And now this time, the only difference that really happens is they end up actually going to space. And they actually do. And trust me, it is not the most ridiculous scene. Most of the ridiculous scenes actually happens on the ground. They happen when people are actually chasing around cars and stuff like that. And in space, there's actually a reasonably logical scene, I would say, where they try to run this car through a satellite, and for some reason the car is built, out of something that's extremely indestructible, so they're able to do that. And I think that that's fine. Like if you can send a car to space, first of all, the car must be built with extremely powerful parts. You can't just use an ordinary car to do it. Even the glass that you use, and all of that has to be extremely well reinforced. Otherwise, a little crack could just destroy your car, and then you're just gonna be thrown into the vast, emptiness of space, and it's pretty insane when if that happens. We do see them being packed into some pretty interesting looking car. However, I wish the glass panels that they had used on the car that they were in seemed a little more like a spaceship, a little more realistic, just to make us feel like we are really going to space, and it wasn't really the case. But that's not the most ridiculous part. The most ridiculous part is actually on the ground, where there's this car chase towards the ending, where they use this large magnet that is in a truck, right? And this magnet is like a super magnet that has actually been causing problems early on in the story. And with the help of their what do you call this? Their tech geek sort of, they're actually able to modify this is the young Dom, by the way. They actually are able to modify this magnet to use it in certain action scenes to their advantage. And the thing about this magnet, I don't think is there a photo here? There has to be. The thing about this magnet is that they use it in such a way where the car they're driving in turns on the magnet and it attracts like metal objects from around them. And because the car is constantly moving, these objects don't hit their car, but it instead hits the cars behind them. And here's the thing, right? Okay, here's the thing. It makes sense if the object that is being attracted is smaller than the car that's being driven, right? Because obviously, if the object is bigger, then the car would fly towards the object, right? That makes sense, right? Because a magnet that's light is obviously going to fly towards a metal object. But if the metal object is small enough, it's going to get attracted to the magnet. It's just a matter of mass. It's not like something that's completely illogical. But in this story, in this film, however, the cars as well also get attracted by the magnet. But the person who is carrying the magnet is also in a regular looking car that is not heavier than any other car or built in any special way, and it's able to attract cars behind it, and like it's used to attack the people who are in pursuit of them. And it makes absolutely no sense. This is one of the scenes where two cars, as you can see in the middle here, they are both carrying magnets, and this is the most ridiculous, one of the most ridiculous scenes in the film, because prior to this particular scene, what the cars do is so the cars can attract things, right? They make it as ridiculous as to the point where the cars can actually attract other cars. Okay, fine. Somehow you had put in a massive weight, what do you call this, suspension or whatever, into the car that makes the car so heavy that it can still move while attracting other cars to attack the people behind you. Okay, fine. Somehow it's able to be done, right? But then there's one scene where the two cars reverse their magnetic fields, right? They turn this little knob and it reverses the magnetic fields and it repels like objects away from them. And the objects are not magnetic, they're metal. So I was watching this together with like a friend of mine, and I told him like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, why? And I'm like, how can the magnet repel? And he's like, it's a magnet, magnets can attract and repel. I'm like, no, you idiot, magnets attract metal, they can't repel metal, magnets can only repel other magnets. But in this film, the magnets repelled just metal. Like, what on earth? It was it was just so ridiculous. And yeah, okay, so this is the thing. This is where it looks like it's supposed to be reinforced to go to space. But I mean, come on, guys, look at the glass. Look how thin this glass is. Really? Like, have you not seen how spaceships are built? There's like multiple layers of glass. Like, there's an outer layer of glass, there's a vacuum, and there's another layer of glass. And they're both really bulletproof and pressure resistant. But anyway, they just put this car in wrapped up in some tin foil and took it to space. So yeah, this is some of the magnetic scenes, which is currently the magnets in the truck, I believe, and later on it'll be used by some cars. And yeah, that entire action sequence was just so stupid, so ridiculous. It just blows my mind that they even came up with that idea and they committed themselves to it. This is another scene where the car has a magnet and it is attracted to this moving truck. This is the scene that makes the most amount of sense because the car is lighter, so when the magnet is on, it's obviously going to get attracted to the largest metal object next to it. So that kind of makes sense. This is the scene where the car is rocketed to space. Now, my only okay, fine. You do all this crazy stuff to get a car to space. I get all of that. Okay, I get all of that. You reinforce the car, you make it look like it's capable of surviving space. Despite whatever glass complaints I had, looking thin and all that. Okay, fine. All that I can accept, right? Why a car? Why not just send an actual spaceship, right? Like, there's no reason for it to be a car. So anyway, let's just move on. So as ridiculous as this film was, I really do not have a rating for this because it's more so a film that I found it to be extremely fun. If you ask me to rate it, I'll probably give it a 2 or 3 out of 10. But I'm not going to put it up for you guys because I'm not really here to rate this film. I just wanted to review this and tell you guys that it's a really fun film. It's really ridiculous. I feel that they should continue making these. I'm quite on. I'm not bullshitting here. I'm not just saying this for the fun of it. I'm not saying it to make fun of the film. I think they should continue this. I think they should take it to a point that's so ridiculous that people make this the ultimate meme. This should be the annual meme generator, right? Because the templates we're going to get out of things like family is something that we don't often get. And we do need films that are just so ridiculous, they defy the laws of physics, that everyone loves it because they just can't hate it because of just how crazy and stupid and funny it is. And they bring all these big action stars and they make them do this comedy. It's something like The Pacifier, or what do you call this, The Tooth Fairy, with The Rock. Those films are not good films. They're just there to make fun of themselves. But hey, you can't hate it. You can't truly hate a film like this because, like, it's a bad film, yes, sure, but it's so fun. It's just so crazy. There are certain scenes in this film that you think, like, what the hell, they went through all this to blow up the car for such a ridiculous movie. But hey, it was still fun at the end of the day. So yeah, yeah, this is them constructing the rocket car and testing out the rocket. Yeah, pretty insane. This guy doing an absolutely stupid joke. But yeah, whatever. They had their moments. They had the pros and cons. And Charlize Theron is just too hot for this film. I have no idea why she's here. She's way too hot. She's actually the villain in this film. You guys may or may not have recognized her from um, what do you call this? Any other installment? But yeah, she is a villain in this film. And John Cena starts off as a villain. He is Dom's brother, and he's obviously going to be a villain. And eventually, he becomes an ally. He joins Dom when they realize that the ultimate villain is Charlize Theron. So they unite to stop her from activating a satellite. And yeah, it's just one of those satellite films where we gotta stop the satellite from triggering, otherwise something bad is gonna happen. So it's one of those films. It's very reminiscent of the stopping satellite films such as The Kingsman, such as, I think, one of the previous Fast films also showed this kind of eye in the sky concept, where that's when they recruited their hacker for the first time. So yeah, it is a very similar concept. It's all the satellite fight, and I think that's fine. It's a very high tech kind of concept. You have to stop a satellite from controlling things, and I think this is truly the end game in real life, especially satellites do control the world. But man, this film didn't give a damn about physics. Let me tell you that it went all out batshit crazy. It did all the craziest things. But I like this. I like this group. I like how they're just willing to do this. And I think they clearly know that this thing is going to look ridiculous. But hey, they want to do it for fun. They want to keep things going. And we want the family memes to continue. I don't want this to stop. So if you ask me, should I watch this film? As I've said before, I'm very honest about things. It's like a friend asking me, hey, should I eat this? Should I try this burger down the road? And I'll tell you if it's a good burger or a bad burger. And let me tell you, this is a bad burger, but it is a pretty, pretty fun experience. So it's a really sloppy, bad burger, and you should try it because why not? But hey, it's not something you're ever going to want to watch again, let me tell you that. But yeah, it was pretty insane. So that's it. That's my long ass review for this film. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you guys had fun watching this. If you haven't watched it, you don't have to check it out, but if you want to, hey, go ahead. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely awesome. And I can't wait for more films like this. But hey, I really want some good movies to come out. It's about time, guys, that we get the better films. And it's already August 2021. I know the pandemic has been slowing things down and people have been struggling, but we are about to get better films. They are piling up. I think 2021 is Zack Snyder's year. There's really no doubt about it. But it's about to be the end of the year. I think there's still opportunity for certain people to try to, attempt some last minute things before we go into 22. And wow, another year already. It's pretty insane. So yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you.